Hey, well, welcome to the Dream Lab, the Dr. Contrast Live. It's good to have you back on board again. And I just thought this stream will dedicate some time to going back into what we did last week. And when I'm on that subject matter, we did a little concept study last week on an interceptor program, some conceptual studies. I began that whole process by looking at some empathy sketches, just doing some real quick Conte crayon strikes to just see an idea, get an idea of shape and form and maybe gesture, and went through a series of sketches there and then converted that into some concept sketch work and the like. But I thought, after going through that whole process last week, there were some nice significant things being stated with these empathy pieces, but I don't think it was radical enough. I didn't think, the stretch of the interceptor system was really that foreboding or evil looking. So I went right back in and spent some time this week doing some little thumbnail sketches, and I just thought I'd go back and revisit that whole platform with this interceptor and get a little more adventuresome and much more aggressive, and get some really good sneaky looking stuff in the concept as well, and begin to put that into some sort of format, and then go into a final illustration, which I'll show you here in a moment. But these are the sketches I went back into to analyze just a little further. And the real premise was what I was looking for to get to push the cockpit midship and low, and then pull the nacelles full forward, almost crab-like, in front of the machine itself. And you'll notice it's been taking place in some of the plan views here. We actually pull the cockpit rearward and then move this whole body form in the engine systems back in there. And then the intakes are right in through here and as well as there. So double intakes. So we've got a protective system with the intakes being shrouded by these two mandibles coming out and protecting the vehicle itself. Then coming back, it was a little more dramatic in plan view. And then some of the elevation studies too, getting a lot sheer with it, a little crisper, trying to get a little bit more, that's a little bit too conventional, almost automotive like. Gee, I wonder how that came about. But then again, this going back to some stealth material and just getting a little slip. But again, a cockpit just maybe too much up on top of the system itself. And then this last one, started to get into this little elevation here, started to get some character down where it might have been interesting, but it still looked like a body form as opposed to a tendril type or an appendage type coming off of the main body form where the engine bays are. And again, a couple little thumbnail sketches on plan views here. So this is where we are here with that sketch one. Let me get rid of this guy. So I went after sketch one, went into sketch two, the second phase, and looked at maybe a little perspective and get some sort of a drama in terms of these big, huge plan form, these really lobster claws coming out as intakes into the actual engine system itself, which is backing through here in the cockpit. Notice being much more buried or below the actual normal surfaces of the appendages, and then and these very strong looking intake pieces that kind of cantilever out and give it some real presence on the actual form itself. And again, a little bit more, elevation kind of exaggerates that a bit. This actually piece here would be actually up on top here, just hiding the actual cockpit itself. I think the gesture is a lot more aggressive, and that's what I was looking for, especially the plan view. There's just something all of a sudden just began to click with that. So based on these two plate sketches here, plate one, where I went back and reanalyzed where we were with the interceptor, then into plate two, where we kind of tuned in on a theme and maybe picked up this lobster claw look, or this appendage cheliped system coming forward with the intakes, and then the nacelle, or the cockpit rather, being low body, mid engine or mid form. A lot more dramatic, I think, in terms of content. So from those two studies, I went ahead and began to push the final design concept, which is this. It's in line form here. When I started here, just to get the line drawing down, and as you'll notice here, I went back and earlier in the week, and once I got the line drawing set up, went back in and looked at just put a little bit of background in to kind of save some of the fuss and time here throughout the course of the presentation today, and putting some of the high contrast areas in the machine itself. But I think it's got a lot more presence in terms of being a lot more aggressive looking, a little bit more business-like, and good to see in terms of putting pieces together. So I'm going to do a little walk through this thing and kind of finish up the sketch today by using Copic marker, a little bit of Prismacolor pencil, maybe a little bit of temper at the end. But I just want to finish a nice illustration of this concept piece and call it a day. And follow with me. Again, Copic, I'm going to work with cool grays. And I'll start by just staining in some basic surface work here. And let's go back into this. Let's go back down to get these drop sections, the engine intakes in place here by coming back along. And we'll just start to put this, let's put a stain together with this stuff. Let's kind of get this guy together here. This in shadow. The light source coming from the left-hand side. Getting that in, gonna smooth out some of the surface work there. It's nice and clean into that nacelle. There we are there. That's kind of cool. Come back in. Let's get the upper surface in place here. Just give it a nice simple neutral too here for what it's worth. And we'll just go back in and keep the surface, upper surface, nice and clean for the time being. And just kind of walk in, just basic values here. Just kind of, and we're going to pick them out as we go through the process here. Just kind of staining this in. A little bit light to dark, neutral, nice and easy. We're going to get this down. Pardon me, just finish that piece off. Let's take this right across the entire through the form here. Let's come right across here. We'll just get the big surfaces in place. Begin to break them up graphically as we go down the line here. Just one simple wash. And we'll break it up as we go here. Some of these panels to fall into place for us here. Spike coming down the middle of this guy. Retreat that a little bit earlier. That's going to be normal here. We'll go through the entire piece first. Come back and break up some of the shapes, more manageable to work with. Let's get this up on top here. There. Body form here. Break. Here, add a little appendage up on top here. Let's get this surface to work as well. Stain this and get a little more drama. It just kind of puts together some of the stronger pieces up on top here. Let's just kind of put some impact in here too. Let's do this. Change the pace here. All right. He's coming over the edge of that engine insert area. One thing I stated earlier, it's really, to me, it's a much bolder approach now. I'm getting a lot stronger statement in terms of getting the forms to work here. But back and add a little bit of drama here too. We'll change the pace. That nacelle out a little bit. Back and use them and definition a little bit. We'll get that down. Good, there we are. Put a shadow underneath this insert area here. Yes. Really build some of the surface work up here. Some shadow inside this niche though here, intake area. It's an easy, simple value setting. Letting some of the surfaces delineate themselves kind of nicely here. Not pushing too much impact here. Put a shadow inside this portion again. Shadow on this side. Definition as we go. Let's see if we a little bit more. So let's get this number 4 back in place here. We'll keep these pretty simple. These reverses here. Get one more pass of this guy. Yeah, the largest surfaces to work with here. Fill that right in. Fill these forms up a little bit more. And then just define some of these edges. Got working here. Paint it in and detail it. Get all the big surfaces in place. And come back in and just start to add some more drawing definition and get some detail into this thing. Hey, Victor, how you doing? Hey, how are you? Nice to see you, Doctor. Good to have you on board here today. Thanks for joining me here, Victoria. I just now looked up. Pardon me, I wasn't ignoring it. Just kind of concentrating on getting these surfaces put in. Thank you. Yeah, I think the form, based on where we were last week, no doubt, Victoria, that was a good start, but it just didn't have the same impact or had the same process. It just didn't have the same romance that some of the sketches I was looking at earlier to get taken care of here. So let's go back and get this guy surfaced in here. Let's surface back. Pardon me as I rotate the pad here a bit. Basic shapes. Come back in detail. Get back into normal here. There we are. I don't know if you caught my commentary there in the beginning there, Victor, but I really spent a lot of time last go around putting some interesting things together on and just sit with it for a week and do a little sketch. Hey, Sharp, we really need to get you in front of CIG. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a nice bit, wouldn't it? spent real money, that handful of designs we could. I much appreciate that, Victoria. I really respect that coming from you, and it's very kind of you to stay so nice. So interesting stuff here. Go back and tone this orange back just a bit here. Let's kind of pull this back just a touch. That's better. The brightness out of it just enough to kind of condense it just a bit. While I'm at it, let's get that place. Let's get that another piece in structure here. A little bit lighter since it's in the light source. It's going to come the other way. Open to it, light source from the left. Got this guy coming in here. Seeing it in. Nice and easy. Right down the line here, put a little bit of tone on this split back here. Texture change, lose it in here. Bring it forward. That's a bit of shadow up of this thing. Let's come down the pike here with a little bit of some contrast now. Oop, let's put that. I don't want to lose my marker here. There we are. Right now I'm just working a real tight range here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just nice and compact, keeping it very graphic, and at the same time, with some impact to deal with it here. I can here just put a little bit of impact on this guy. If I can get this kind of dropped in just a touch here. And indices across here. Now, we'll start to put a little bit of detail in this thing now. Let's come back in here. Sorry for the quietness here. It's the 37 Ajax. Hey, that's a nice, that's a cool name. I like that. Very good. F-37 Ajax. Nice. Very cool stuff there. It's always good to have you on board. Turn on no sweat. Let's kind of connect these dots here now. Let's get a little more tone. Some of the breakup, some of the surfaces here. That means I turn this upside down. Across on the line here. It is. It's turning away from the light source. We need to drop that just a bit. It's going to drop that down just a little bit more shadow here. Deeper tone. 5 here. What do you think, Victoria? Coming along all right? What do you think? So far, so good? Yeah, this is fun. This has been a lot of fun. Let's see if we can kind of put some more drama in this thing here. Let's kind of go back to this number 4. Separation in some of these shapes. Let's see if we can come up with something here. Now we can start to animate these forms a little bit more. Good surface work on top of it, so we kind of animate it a little bit more, but more drama to it. There's an edge there. This together. 5 here. Yeah, that's it. You got it. That's really cool. What do you think? So far, so good. Victoria, is this making sense? Reading all right? I'm just kind of putting pieces together here based on what we have. Let's go back and restain this guy. Well, there we go. Gonna get a start on it here. Okay, what do you think here, guys? Let's see, speaking of myself, I would probably have ruined it about 8 times, but no, that's great. I mean, no, yeah, listen, you're doing some great work here. This is really interesting stuff. What do you think? But you're going in and adding paddles and screws and bolts and yeah, it's neat. Yeah, just going back in and adding a lot of drawing definition makes a huge difference, I think. No question, Victoria. That's the difference. I mean, we always said this when I work with this stuff. It's almost interesting to me how you get this really cool stuff in terms of it. All of a sudden, it becomes a drawing issue. It's a media issue, but what it makes it sing is when you just go back in and start to draw more and define what you start to see. So let's kind of go back and make that come to life here for us here. Very simple design, and I just want to get enough appointments in the thing to really start to break up the shapes and make it look a little more evil than it really truly is. So, I don't know. I'll let you guys think about this. What do you think so far, guys? Is this making sense? Oh, yeah, there it is. This is a little odds and ends. It makes sense. Hey, we're good, 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 good. Yeah, it's fun stuff. I mean, you go back in and look at some of the definition. We get a sharper stick on this thing. And so far, so good. I mean, it's starting to take on some characters and personality. So hopefully, pretty safe in terms of approach. And I don't mean safe in the sense that I'm just timid with it. I just want a nice, clean set of surfaces and let some of the shapes kind of come forward, some of the add-ons and things we're dealing with here to really kind of string in and make a good impact on the overall content of the sketch. Just put a little more definition in this guy here. So define this thing coming off of that form. Same thing on this side, just a bit more of a lean to it. There it is. And let's put a little reflection in this thing too, just enough to. So there we are. It's just a very simple form here, but I think interesting to see what some of the shapes are doing here. It's going to embellish this back here a little bit more busier. And last but not least, this is a little bit of plan view in this thing, just to kind of give it, there's a little bit of a touch of, you envision a V2L as well. Yeah, I think that would be kind of, V2L would be kind of neat, just because it's so compact. It's not really, it's a real stubby kind of a look to it, much like, not so much an elevation, almost like an elevation like this, Victoria. An elevation, it's almost got that kind of a stance to it, even though it's not quite the same gesture. It's real kind of chunky and low profile and very compact. So I think it could have a V2L setup, no question whatsoever. I think that'd be kind of a neat little feature. Let me go back in and just put a little more definition in some of this, the plan view here, and we'll kind of walk it away here. How's that? Let's just do this. There's a couple more little variations on the plan view than there are in the actual perspective study. So just little transitional changes from one view to the other. See if we can come up with there. Let's add to that. That number 4 gray or 5 gray we pushed in there. So got that little separation. We'll just hit some of the highlights on this view here. Kind of wrap up a little bit here for us here. Too gray and just walk that whole upper piece on the line here. As I rotate this guy just a bit here. Thank you, Ajax or Nightingale. Man, Nightingale's neat. Ah, that's great. You've got a great sense of naming rights. That's cool. Love it. Let's stain this up right here. Nightingale, that is really, that's slick. Very good, Victor. That is, I love that. That's neat. Notice the armature here can be kind of nice too. One of the things I thought about putting this whole program together after I went through that first pass last Wednesday was, what about the possibility of having this as a main beam and then this whole portion here rearward, and then these appendages could be interchangeable or change in configuration of some sort. That I think would be really cool. Let's go back in and get this guy. Let's do this. Very simple little surface work in here. Separate just a bit. Let's take this inside piece here. Back to number 4 gray. Number 4, which is right here. Very cool. This inside piece. Let me turn it sideways just a moment here, gang. I can bring it right back to normal here. It's a lot easier to work with here. Number 2 again. Get this outer pod in place. That in. Finishing this thing. Pardon me. Come back to number 5 gray. Push this in a bit. And let's bring this back up to normal here a little bit. And we'll just kind of put in some final touches here. Pardon me for rotating the paper quite a bit, but it's much easier to work with once you had that squared away here. I'm just going to go back and these guys. Fill this in just a bit more. Let's go drawing definition inside this thing now. What do you think, Victor? Still with me? So far, so good. Just trying to wrap up that plan view a little bit here and get this thing all set squared away. And we're just almost there. Gee, so much appreciate you staying with it. And there she be. I just thought we kind of wrap that up right about there and just let that go at that. Interesting little concept study here, I think. Let's see. I could see being a two-seater stacked with the, yep, probably a two-seater. And given the back, that'd be great. In turn, no sweat whatsoever. I think that really, let's try something else here just for fun. One last little touch here, and we go. Let's see. Okay, ready? Let's just see if this will work for us here. Pardon me, as I reach across. And I think that's just about got it. What do you think, Ventura? You buying that? There it is. Victoria, how do you think? There she is, all of its splendor. So hopefully that'll get the job done for us here, gang. I really appreciate you tagging along here today. An interesting little concept series here. I think, again, let's go back where we started. This was one plate, for example, that we did here after last week. I went back and I just felt we needed to get a lot more aggressive with some of the sketches. Just interesting. It wasn't what I did last Wednesday was fine. I got to empathy, and the empathy sketches started opening up some doors for new shapes and forms, but it wasn't quite really wicked enough or aggressive enough. I went back in and did these little sketches first and elevations and some plan views. I'm beginning to really start to see this very claw-like, aggressive-looking form with a low cockpit, intakes forward, and much more assertive. And I went for this sketch to put a little bit of perspective on it to kind of get the idea of what those two cantilevers are going to look like. And again, little elevation. So I just kind of moved up a little bit and it got a lot more abbreviated, but the canopy dropped in behind her. And again, the plan view, a lot more aggressive looking, I think. Just a lot more fun to deal with here. Then the final variation is this guy right here. We just wrapped it up here a moment ago. So hang on a moment while I just do this. There it is. We're all set. There she is, all finalized and ready to roll here. And Victor, I can't thank you enough for staying with me. What did you think of the overall concept here? Making get some good progress made from last week to this week on some of the materials we were dealing with. It just a lot more. It just seems a lot more substantial. And I think your point too about having it being a really good two-seater stacked information guy in the back, pilot up front, and the V2L system. Very compact looking. It's a bit more of an interceptor. It's a little bit large on the side of an interceptor, but has more guts to it. So we can kind of downsize that. But I think I'm much happier with today's approach, some of the concept work than I was last week. Last week was, like I said, the empathy materials opened up some doors, but I think this one really started to open up in terms of getting some really interesting shape and surface and delineation, and also packaging. It made a huge difference. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to be with me today. A lot of fun. Always is, and we'll kind of carry on next Wednesday. Might change subject matter again to more of a product design piece. My only regret is it doesn't have racing wheels. Yeah, you know what? We could put them on there too, but that's not a bad idea. We could do a variation on an Indy car or a Formula One machine with the same process. So that could be a lot of fun, Victoria. So thank you so much again for your input. Always very valuable. Much, much appreciated. Always good to have you on board. And if you have a moment, please look at my website, drcontrast.com. This has got some good news last night from my web guy, the IT individual. We're doing some neat stuff now. Finally, the web source coming together. The prints are going on board. We've got 8 or 9 variations on automobile prints. Some T-shirts coming along. I'll be adding some of this stuff to it as well as we go. Some of the Star Citizen material as we move along here with it. But it was really exciting to see how it all come together. So definitely an F1 influence. Yeah, you're right there. My regards to the family, and yours as well, Victoria. All the very best, and hopefully see you at the Big Fest come June. So thanks again for your input. Visit my website at drcontrast.com when the store is coming up to speed. And also I will be there. I'm planning to be there. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do a live presentation piece, talking to Michael about my association with the gang as we get closer to that date. So it'll be a lot of fun, Victoria. And if you have any notes or things you want me to work on or pass along, for example, information, drawing skills, etc., please drop me a note at jim@drcontrast.com. Always appreciate your input. It's always good to have you on board, and good feedback always comes together here when we get these things in place. So again, the website, drcontrast.com. There's some neat drawing systems there. Hopefully they'll work with you as well. Please feel free to join forces with us there. And stay tuned. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And I always finish with this because it's the most important part of the whole presentation. Never forget to remember to dare to be great, because you are. Thanks very much, gang. Really cool that. Yeah, it's great with the show. I think that would be kind of neat, Victoria. That's our plan, to kind of put something together. Maybe it's this vehicle, or maybe a variation of it. Put that into some place here for the show coming up that Michael's putting together in June. So look forward to seeing you there always. And again, thank you so much for your time. All the best to you and your family. All the very best. Have a great week, gang. We'll see you a week from today. Take care, and all the very best. Thank you.